Miles Sanders and AJ Brown suddenly appear on the Eagles' injury report. CJ Gardner-Johnson unlikely to play on Sunday. T.O. wants to be a Cowboy, and the Eagles can clinch the NFC East tonight. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome to the Thomas Mott Show on a Thursday. This is a loaded show. There is a lot to go ahead and go over, and we're just going to go ahead and jump right into what's happening with both Philadelphia and the National Football League as a whole. Let's start with maybe the reason why you clicked on this show this morning, the injury report that Philadelphia released ahead of the Saints game. It's a little bit concerning, and I want to break down this multiple layers of what the Eagles gave us yesterday on their estimated injury report. First off, let me just say this. It's an estimated injury report. You see that here. Eagles issue estimated injury report ahead of the Saints game because they didn't officially have like a full practice yesterday. They gave you it was like a walkthrough. They gave you an estimated injury report on who would have practiced and who would not have practiced had they actually practiced. Does that make sense? Sorry, it's confusing. What's important to note, though, is a couple of players who we didn't know had injuries suddenly popped up on the injury report. So, Jalen Hurts, right shoulder, DNP, that's fine. Johnson, groin, Maddox, toe, DNP, okay, yes. Then boom, Miles Sanders, DNP with a knee injury. No idea where this came from, and there's no real details here on the Bleeding Green Nation article. They basically say the same thing that I'm saying here. Where did this come from, right? Definitely something to go ahead and keep an eye on because Sanders is going to be critical in Philadelphia's chances of winning on Sunday against the Saints in order to wrap up not only the NFC East, but the number one overall seed and host a divisional round playoff game, which I and my mother will be at. Now, also you see here, AJ Brown. He has a knee injury as well. He would have been limited had they practiced yesterday. That is, again, new. Doesn't necessarily mean Philadelphia has serious injuries at running back and wide receiver? No, but it is something to go ahead and keep an eye on because, again, this is a projected injury report which would have said if we practiced yesterday, Sanders would not have been out there and A.J. Brown would have been limited. Also, you see there Jordan Davis in concussion protocol. Very little reporting. I don't know why the media has not really dove into what's going on with Jordan Davis. Clearly, it's a concussion, but it'd be nice to have a report saying he's probably going to play Sunday or, oh, he's still in concussion protocol. So we don't know. Right, that's what I'm trying to emphasize here. We don't know where we're at, but just keep an eye on this Sanders knee issue because Philadelphia's banged up right now. We understand that, but they've got to go all out and win on Sunday. That way they can just have the next 3 weeks or really 2.5 weeks off to rest, relax, rehab, and get all these guys back and ready to play. The important thing to note is all of these players, except for maybe Avonte Maddox, are going to play in the divisional round game, right? Unless there's just a horrible thing that happens in the next couple of weeks, they all should be there. But the question is Sunday versus the Saints, and we'll keep you updated on that as we know more. Quickly here for the Saints, Alvin Kamara, he has a little quadricep and a personal reason. He is expected to go ahead and play. Marcus May has a shoulder. Ramczyk has an illness. Dwayne Washington has an illness. These guys are all going to play. Right now, really, most of the Saints are healthy. They're a very healthy football team, at least for the guys that are out there right now, so no worries for the Saints there. Now, we move over to CJ Gardner-Johnson. This is interesting news here. Bleeding Green Nation, CJ not ready to return, and this is a good article from NBC Sports in Philadelphia. Quote, with all previous players coming off IR, the Eagles opened their practice window before the Wednesday practice the week they returned to action. By not opening CJ Gardner-Johnson's practice window, it remains unclear when he'll be able to return. Eagles finished the regular season against the Saints and Giants and would open the postseason the weekend of January 14-16 if they're a wild card, or 21-22 if they get the number one seed in the NFC. It's still conceivable, but not at all likely, they could open his practice window later this week and still get him back for the Saints game. Let me translate that into common English here. For every other player that has gone on IR, Dallas Goedert, Avonte Maddox, Jordan Davis this season, Philadelphia has activated them the week or the days before they were going to actually play their first game on Wednesday. They did not activate CJ Gardner-Johnson to the practice squad yesterday, meaning the speculation is rising that he is not going to be activated for the Saints game. Now, one, it's a bummer because he was traded from the Saints for pennies on the dollar and has balled out in Philadelphia, and playing against your former team that got rid of you for cheap is kind of a fun motivation. Plus, he's a baller. Plus, you need him at nickel. We talked about that yesterday, but I think it's very clear he's probably not going to play, barring some news that happens later today that I won't cover on the show because the show was filmed early for you guys driving to work. So, again, not sure if he's going to play. We'll keep you updated. If there is any sort of update, we'll talk about it on tomorrow's show, but I would bet CJ Gardner-Johnson does not play at all the remainder of the regular season. You probably see him out there much like Lane Johnson, maybe Avonte Maddox in a divisional round playoff matchup. It's a lacerated kidney for him, right? It's no joke. Lacerated kidney, one wrong pop, and the healing process could stop and reverse, and then, of course, you have to go ahead and go through it again. So don't expect him out there Sunday. Things can change, but I would be shocked based on the news we're seeing here from Bleeding Green Nation and NBC Sports in Philadelphia. I want to move over here quickly to FanDuel. I mentioned this yesterday. I have a really cool FanDuel promo right now for everyone on my show. The link down below in the description box. New FanDuel customers, there's no sweat first bet. It's good marketing right there. Up to $1,000 back in free bets if you go ahead and sign up. Make your first deposit of $10+ or more. Place your first bet. Get back $1,000 in free bets if you don't win. And, of course, use that within the first 14 days after receipt. That way it doesn't expire. So really cool promo here from our friends at FanDuel. It's a great opportunity to go ahead and kind of have a no-sweat first bet. I mean, the marketing is there for a reason. That way you can bet on Philadelphia to win. If they win, then you win. But if they don't win, then you can go ahead and get back that in free bets and use that on a different FanDuel bet. All of the info is on FanDuel.com. Got to be in a legal state, legal age, all the usual stuff. But it's down below right now in the description box. Jump on that deal now. Okay, I want to get into this whole idea of Terrell Owens here in just one second. I like the video if you were laughing at the idea of Terrell Owens being a Dallas Cowboy, because we're going to talk about that. It's ridiculous. But I first want to go ahead and at least mention something that I was reading yesterday about Jonathan Gannon, right? Gannon's done a great job this year. He has a top 10 defense. He has a top 5 defense at some times, and really, they've been way better than at any point in the past couple of years, in my opinion. Now, talent has something to do with that, but a disturbing trend continues to rise for Philadelphia under the defensive realm of Jonathan Gannon, and that is the fact they struggle against good quarterbacks. And I was going through this morning, and the comparison from this year to last year against good quarterbacks remains a big-time problem. And I know a lot of people hate on Jonathan Gannon. I don't hate the guy. I think he does do a good job, but these numbers don't lie. Look at this. Okay. Here are all your opponents so far in the 2022 regular season. Now, you go through the list of good quarterbacks versus bad quarterbacks, and it's night and day difference what Philadelphia's defense does. Now, Detroit is your one outlier. It's week 1, not a lot of preseason games. We can go ahead and, chalk that one up to just a little bit of early season jitters. Now, the rest of the way that you go against bad quarterbacks, Philadelphia is great. 7 points against Kirk Cousins, 8 against Carson Wentz, 21 against Trevor Lawrence, 17 against Kyler, 17 against Cooper Rush, 13 against Kenny Pickett. Houston only had 17. Of course, Washington might be an outlier there. There's an outlier every single season. There's your outlier. Indy, 16 points. Then Aaron Rodgers, good quarterback, 33. Then you go to Tennessee, 10, bad quarterback. Then you go to bad quarterback, New York, 22. Then you go to Chicago, bad quarterback, 20. Then you go to Dallas, good quarterback, Dak better than most, then you put him there at 40. So the 2 games you've played so far against good quarterbacks, you've given up 40 and 33. The rest of them, besides the 2 outliers of Detroit and Washington, they've done a really good job defensively. Now, that compares to last season when the criticism was very hot and heavy for Jonathan Gannon. Every single time they played a good quarterback, they gave up a ton of points, right? Atlanta only gave up 6. San Francisco only gave up 11. Dallas, 41. Kansas City, 42. Carolina, only 18. Tampa Bay, 28. The Raiders, 33. I consider Derek Carr a good quarterback despite being benched. Detroit, 6. Chargers, 27. Denver, 13. Saints, 29. New York, 7. The Jets, 13. The Jets, 18. 17. 10. 16. Dallas, 51. Now, again, that was against secondary players or second-string players, but you get my point. The issue remains right now for Jonathan Gannon, the fact that he, for whatever reason, is struggling against these really good quarterbacks, and that kind of makes you think, what's going to look like in a divisional round matchup? It's probably going to be a shootout, which means you're going to have to score a bunch of points in order to keep the defense from giving this game away by letting Dak or Tom Brady or somebody else score 30 or plus. And I think that it's going to come down to, in these playoff games, can Jonathan Gannon's defense do what they don't normally do, and that is stop these good quarterbacks. It really is the one concerning trend when looking at Gannon. Everything else is great this year. Turnovers, sacks, third down percentage. He's great every single week, but you play these good quarterbacks. Dak and Aaron Rodgers, only 2 so far this year. You've given up a bunch of points, and that is a bummer. Thumbs up, though, if you guys are excited for the possibility of a new D coordinator next year, to maybe Vic Fangio, someone else besides Gannon, because he might get a head coaching job. Because, again, he's good. But when you look at the actual good quarterbacks he faces, that defense gets shredded. Okay, quickly here, I do need to mention Dallas versus Tennessee tonight. This does matter for Philadelphia, even though it kind of tiptoes into our NFL national story of the day. Tennessee is going to be without Derrick Henry. Looking like Dallas is not going to have Tony Pollard as well. And so you're going to have Hassan Haskins versus Zeke Elliott as your 2 running backs here. A lot of people are expecting Dallas to roll in this one. Tennessee, doesn't matter if they win or lose because their Week 18 matchup against the Jaguars is kind of the winner-take-all in that division. But I do want to mention, if the Cowboys lose tonight, Philadelphia wins the NFC East without even playing on Sunday, right? So Philadelphia locks up a top 4 seed in the NFC East if the Cowboys lose tonight. So you got to really pull for the Tennessee Titans in this one, even though it does seem like Dallas is going to win this one. You see a 91% ESPN analytic matchup, BS here. Of course, Philadelphia can only get the 1 seed if they win against the Saints, or they have both the Niners and the Vikings, or Vikings and Niners lose, and that's not going to happen because the Niners are playing Jarrett Stidham and the Raiders on Sunday. So definitely root for the Titans tonight. Just wanted to get that point out of there. Although Tennessee, as seen here, has stunk the past couple of weeks. I know they had injuries to Ryan Tannehill, but they've lost 5 in a row. They've lost 6 of their last 8, and it's not really been close. They've not scored a lot of points. All right, final story here in our NFL National Story of the day. This was weird yesterday. You saw this whole report and stuff. We got to at least mention it. Terrell Owens won't sign with Cowboys after contact about NFL return. Now, you read that and you go, oh, he's not going to sign. But then you read the actual details of this article, and it's weird. And I want to address this. Quote, former 49er wide receiver Terrell Owens has been in contact with the Dallas Cowboys about a possible return to the NFL. But the 49-year-old Pro Football Hall of Famer will not be signing with the team at this time, and a reporter, Dov Kleiman, reported Wednesday, citing a source. And he goes into, the sources and all this sort of thing. Here's the real juice of it. Quote, Owens agent Greg Daniel told SI.com earlier Wednesday that they had been in constant communication with the office of Cowboys owner Jerry Jones over the last few days about the receiver's potential return. Terrell is ready to contribute and play at any role, big or small, Daniel told SI.com. He's in outstanding shape. He looks no different than he did years ago. I watched him run routes full speed with Deshaun, and he looked great. He didn't drop a pass. He most recently ran a 4.5 40-yard dash, which was his warm-up. He's a legend. We want to make history and see him break these records. If anyone can do it, it's him. His 3 Ds are desire, dedication, and discipline. He embodies that every day, even running hills at 3 a.m. on Christmas morning. Okay, let's just break this down right here. First off, we need to mention that T.O. is in outstanding shape. I mean, easily the top, probably 0.0001% of 49-year-old men in the United States right now. The guy, Google him. Go to his Instagram. He's ripped. He's jacked. He's very much in shape. This whole idea, though, that he's been in constant contact with the Cowboys, you read that and you go, no, that can't be true. But then you go, oh, it's Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. And Jerry Jones and the Cowboys only care about making headlines and, selling tickets and being America's team. That's what Jerry Jones prides himself in, because he hasn't been interested in winning Super Bowls in the last 26 years. That's very clear. They've not even got past the divisional round, and that's a fact of life. Would you be shocked if T.O. signed with the Cowboys? Yes. But would you actually be shocked if T.O. signed with the Cowboys? No, I actually wouldn't. And personally, sure, I'd like to see it. I'd be fine with that. Now, can T.O. give you a couple of routes a game against a number 1 corner? Sure, I bet he could. Doesn't mean he's going to dominate them. Doesn't mean he's going to go 8 for $130 and 2 touchdowns. But what about 3 for 35? I think T.O. could do that. And I'm not trying to bloviate here or, make some sort of controversial statement. I bet he could. The question is, can he take a hit? The question is, can he, cut on the knee, cut on the, hamstring, on the ankle, on the Achilles? Is he an injury risk waiting to happen? And would he be just too much drama for a Cowboy team that very much is alive right now in the NFC playoff hunt? And many people are considering a legit threat to Philadelphia because they just beat Philadelphia minus Jalen Hurts a couple of days ago. So this is a story to keep an eye on. It's obviously not going to happen. I know T.O. pops up in the news cycle, once a year, but I think it'd be fun. I'd be fine with that. Don't want him in Philadelphia, but I think I'd watch a Cowboy game a lot more closely if T.O. was out there. 49 years old, best shape of his life, prove us wrong. If he actually runs a 4.5 40 at the age of 49, I'd be shocked if no team wants a team didn't want to go ahead and get him. The interesting note here is that Kleiman says the sources tell me the one reason it isn't happening is Owens is asking for more money from the team. That's the one problem, because it's like, Terrell, if you want to prove people wrong, if you just want to be on a team, take the least amount that they will give you. You're already rich. Come on. We know you're not hurting for money. He has enough money. Take a little bit less and prove to us you actually want to play. That feels like kind of a cop out there saying, oh, I'll play for you, but not for that much money. It's like, dude, you're 49 years old. Figure this whole thing out. So, interesting story. It makes for a fun headline, but will it actually be something legit or real? Probably not. Okay. Well, the official injury update in terms of CJ Gardner-Johnson probably tomorrow. If you want to stay up to date in terms of my Twitter account at @RealThomasMott. Tomorrow's Friday. It's gone by really quick. Get ready for a New Year's Eve on Saturday, bowl games, all sorts of fun. But the real focus is we're rooting against the Cowboys tonight and Philadelphia winning on Sunday to lock up that 1 seed, and then just rest and relax until the divisional round. We'll see what happens. I'm Thomas Mott. It's been the Thomas Mott Show.